On the 5th of March 2009, Help for Heroes were delighted to be able to hold their first annual review. We were extremely lucky to be sponsored by Guomen Hotel Groups, who offered us their conference facilities at the Tower Hotel in London. We're grateful to the Governor of the Tower of London for lending us on attachment two of his yeoman warders. Our London volunteers, led by Sarah Walker, turned out and held a stand to sell goods. There was an excellent turnout of our local county coordinators who came from as far afield as Scotland and Cornwall. Other charities were represented, including K9 Partners, Armed Forces Association, and we were delighted to be able to have a full show of our own patrons, including new patron Ross Kemp, Chris Moon, and of course Peter Norton. Morning started with some very emotional films where we saw some of the work that we've been able to do over the last year and a half. We then followed the films with various presentations from members of the staff, including myself and Battleback, who we've covered in a separate film, and introduced Ross Kemp as our new patron, who gave a very interesting address. I was then able to introduce Peter Dixon Clark, who's our new financial officer, and he was able to deliver the meat of the story, which is to do with the money.
So let's talk about income for the first year of the charity. Income of 14.7 million. The vast majority has come from donations, 12.1 million. The charity also organised a bike ride, and from that it raised 1.7 million. The charity has a subsidiary, Help for Heroes Trading, and that company was set up with the idea of making sufficient profits to offset the operating costs of the charity. Finally, £200,000 came from interest. Let's talk more about these donations, £12.1 million. Half of that money came from donations. 3 million of that 4.7 million stemmed from just two events, the incredible hurling and ball and the rugby RFU challenge match at Twickenham. £700,000 comes from gift aid and £600,000 came from the ITV grant. Now each of these red dots represents a donation made via the website where someone has logged their postcodes. And you can see that the donations pretty much represent the population densities across the country. This shows how the number of events taking place during each month has grown during the history of the charity. How does all of that translate into money? Well, this picture best represents the story of the charity in money terms. Founded in October 2007, even in its first month, it managed to raise over £100,000. Very quickly, members of the press got hold of the story, both national and regional, and the donations shot up during November and rose again in December as the Sunday Times and the Sun were kind enough to make us the members of their Christmas campaign. Post-Christmas, the level of donations dropped off slightly as people got better organised and started to run their own events. From April 2008, we started to see the result of that, and the monthly income has increased for every subsequent month. Our best month was in January 2009. What have we done with the 14.7 million that you have so kindly donated? Well, £8 million has gone to Headley Court, £3.5 million has gone to Combat Stress, and £500,000 has gone to SAFA. £200,000 has gone to other charities, including Battleback, and £800,000 was spent on direct costs. £300,000 was spent on support costs, and that's approximately the same as the profit made for H4H Trading. And finally, 1.4 million is left in reserves, as much of which as possible we hope to use for further grant making.